Building the temple. This is one of the great events of the Old Testament. It was the height of the kingdom of Israel. This is what they look forward to. Promises were given to Abraham about this day. Moses prepared the people for this day. And then on the other side, after this time, when the kingdom declined and finally went into captivity, they focused back to this day. Even in the time of Christ, they were still talking about Solomon and longing for those days, hoping that Jesus would reestablish that kingdom. Even as you look at a timeline, they were in Egypt for 430 years. After they were delivered from Egypt to this day here, it was 480 years. Now, after the building, 400 years later, the temple was destroyed. So you have 430 years in captivity, 480 years getting to this time, and then 400 years later, destroyed. And after that, Christ was born 580 years after that. So literally, this building of this temple is right square in the middle. From the day they go into slavery or go to Egypt until the birth of Christ, it's right in the middle. It is the focal point. It is so important. Now, a lot has been said about Solomon taking 13 years to build his own house when he only spent 7 years to build the temple. Don't read too much into that. First of all, the temple was smaller. It was not meant to be big. Not many people went on the inside of that building. No, the emphasis was outside where people could stand. Huge crowds could come on the outside, but only a few would go in. So the building itself was not all that large. Where, of course, the palace would kind of be like the White House. It would be where Solomon lived, but also where he ruled and where he judged and where diplomats would come. And it was a much more complicated building. Besides, David did so much of the work for the temple before Solomon ever started. In one way, you could technically say that Solomon just finished the temple. David actually started it by gathering all the materials except the cedar. Well, I wanted to talk about that place for the Gentiles. Scripture says that Solomon made a special place where Gentiles could come and pray. In the New Testament, Jesus refers to that. He says this was supposed to be a house of prayer. He's talking about this spot right here, this where the Gentiles could come and pray. And you have made it into a den of thieves. In other words, you've taken this special spot, the only place where Gentiles could come, and you have turned it into a marketplace to sell sacrifices and to exchange money, which means that the Gentiles had no place to go. Now, they didn't do this in the regular temple. They didn't do any of this stuff in the Jewish part of the temple. No. All of this was in the Gentile section. And it made Jesus angry. And he threw him out. Shows the love that he has not only for the people of Israel, but the love that he has for us who are Gentiles. Well, come back next week when we give you some more story insights. as we go through the entire Old Testament, as we go in the time of now Solomon's decline, and then decline of the kingdom and its division. Some exciting days ahead, so don't miss coming back each week as we give you story insights. We'll see you next week.